Right, we're live. What's going on, champs? Hope you guys doing well. Get a bit closer, so zoom in, come on. There we go, focus on me. There we go. How's it going, guys? Appreciate you guys actually being on the stream as well. So let's just get cracking as well, man. It's been a bit of an interesting move in terms of crypto. Crypto market has pushed up quite strongly. We've all seen it as well, taking out to July's high. BTC we're talking about. Ethereum went to $1,700, which is a key resistance in my opinion as well. So that was all covered in the daily stream, the weekly stream as well, which happened on Monday as well. So yep, target's pretty much done as well. A little bit of moves. I can expect 25.2k. Liquidity resting at 25.2k on BTC. We'll have to the monitor app. PPI has come out already. So now that's all out, we're gonna see what's at hand now as well. So the PPI came out a bit higher than the forecast. Came out a little bit stronger. So dollar index is pushing up. I mentioned about market symmetry on the on Twitter. So that's a whole different scenario there. So anyway, we'll just look at what alts. This really is a focus on alts itself. So we're just going to talk about that and look in just covering some of the alts that you guys want me to cover, and looking at the potential moves that we have on board. I will cover some of these that I'm in myself personally. I'm trading on spots, for example, or you can even look for some leverage plays. Has been a bit of a move, man. Has been a really good move. I mean, let me just check APT for a second, because I was in APT for a long scenario. I'll share it out with you. Yeah, I was in APT for a long scenario, and he actually blew quite well. He actually took out the liquidity up here as well, which is all nice. Just touching base on it. That was the plan. That really was the plan right over here. I was tired, honestly. I mean, I could have held this a little bit longer, but I was like, it's an easy target just to go there and off we go. You will see these kind of price action will play out. You got this high over there acting as resistance, break above it, consolidation. As on this low holds, wherever the low point. I mean, this is the low actually. As on this low holds, we're good to go. At least target one, and then see what goes on. But it is what it is. So it's been a bit interesting one actually. I took BTC trade, I took APT trade, I took NIA trade, I took Solana trade. I took a lot of trades yesterday. It was quite difficult to handle, but nothing we can't deal with. So let's get in. Let's get cracking as well. So who do we have here, man? So we got Martin. How you doing? Well, go on, my bro. Got Paul Sinclair. Guna's in the house. Hugh Janus. Julie Deflo's asking if I could actually cover LTC. Of course, by all means, I can definitely do that. I can definitely cover that up. That's not a problem. If you guys have any more, do post it up and we'll have a look. I know I've got, like, on Twitter, a bunch of people have has literally requested a number of alts there. I'll try my best. I won't be able to cover all of them, but we'll do what we can. Okay, so let's just talk about the most important thing, right? So if you remember last week, we talked about, it was last week itself, we talked about this range over here. Let me just bring this all up there. I'm just focusing within this particular range. I'm not looking at anything else. Keeping it nice and simple within the range of July's range. Okay, what we got here is, let me just bring this up here. Cool, you guys can see now. What we got here is July's low, July's high, and we've got the mid range. Okay, that's all it is. Nothing too fancy. Keep it nice and simple. This level here is a macro range. What's that range is? We covered it last week there, so I'm not gonna really touch base on it. It's between this high over here and this low over here that you can see. That's all it is. So I'm looking for targets of the range low, the macro range low, but I'm still focusing within July's range. Okay, so when we talked about this when I actually posted this on Twitter at the very beginning, I was looking at this. So we played the move all the way up here, right? So those who actually joined in, great. If you haven't, no problem. We can actually always find another trade in. Adam, how's it going, brother? You good? So actually, smash the likes. Smash the likes, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and we're going to do this every week. Every week we're going to look at alts itself and then just run it through, just day trading, that kind of stuff and whatnot. So really and truly, I mean, we're taking out liquidity over here, there's liquidity resting over here. We're having bullish market structure, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, we're pushing up there. I mean, yeah, we had a stop run there. What's going to happen? I don't know. As long this is the deviation, this low holds in place, I think we can push up into here and then possibly into this area here. At least take out this liquidity over here on alts itself, which will touch base on alts and how we can relate to that. On a lower time frame, literally yesterday itself, I was telling the guys in the DCC that this is your area. So when BTC was pushing up, BTC pushed up around here. And I was like, if we step in on a lower time frame, what we're looking for alts to run into here, possibly into here as well. At least take out these highs over there. And it did so. And it's coming back into the range itself. So, which means to me what? I mean, BTC is dropping, is pulling back. Dollar index is pushing up. ES is pushing down. No problem. What am I looking for? Let it do its thing. If it wants to show bearishness, I want to see what the total 2 does. If it does this, breaks down over here. I know this is my invalidation. Take the shorts back into the mid-range back to range low. Keep it nice and simple within this range bound environment. Because what we had consolidation. That's a deviation because we step back in the range and we push back up. Just like this is a deviation because we're stepping back into the range. That's all it is. So looks like a bit of a short coming in, and it's to be expected. You can't expect every single day to be long. I mean, like, it doesn't work like that. Otherwise, is anyone taking profits? You know what I mean? So, cute fucking roach. There we go. That's the thing, is when you talk too much, it's just like if a cigarette just runs out quickly. Anyway, so what you're looking at is literally looking at within this range. So if I'm looking for a pullback and then looking for a short scenario, that means that should all relate across the board. Short term, once we lose this area, from this area here, does it hold support and then push it back to the mid-range and then range high, and it's still a consolidation period over here, and then do we have a breakout to run it into these highs over there? Right, I mean, where am I wrong? I'm going to be watching total 2 along with ALTS itself. If it does step back up and hold above bullish price action, I'm looking to actually run it into 613 billion, which is the macro range low. And if we do get back above it, then really and truly it'll be looking something like that, something like this. Run it back into July's high. What happens next? I expect a pullback into here, holds above this level there. Great, breaks out. Off we go. Bob's your motherfucking uncle. Let's go higher. We'll monitor this week in and week out. Okay. So for the time being, you have to have the respect of the idea that, look, when the market has actually pushed up, all right, just bring this up nice and big so you guys can see. The market has a massive push ups. We broke market structure here. We found support. Found support again. This low holds. Pushes up. Breaks market structure here. Breaks market structure here. Breaks market structure there. Takes out these highs, takes out these highs, takes out these highs. We're taking out highs non-stop. So naturally, if we had a bullish day, we're gonna have a bit of a pullback. How far is a pullback? I don't know. Would it come into here? Does it lose this area here and come back into this particular high right over here? But really and truly, I want to see this low hold. All right. So if it does this, something like that, whatever it does, I don't really mind. Put out the inefficiency over here. That's fine. Oops. That's perfectly fine for me. I don't really mind. But the moment we reclaim and hold above it, off we go, level to level, play it back into it. And then once we get the breakout, we can play the breakout whenever it does happen. Does that make sense, everybody? Hopefully it should do. So let's touch base on some alts. Let's look at some alts. Before I do so, I actually want to touch base on cryptocurrency.com. Cryptocurrency.com. Coinmarket.com. Looking at these websites there, just looking at the last 7 days, it looks pretty good. Whoops. Okay, now what happened there? It looks pretty good. Green over here on Bitcoin, green on Ethereum, green on US dollar, this USDT, just leave that as it is. It's pretty red on BNB, you know, like we're finding some sort of resistance. We'll talk about that in a moment. Obviously USDC, fuck that. It's gonna should be, you know, the same throughout the way. XRP is green as well. Again, BUSD, again, that's a stable coin. There's a whole different scenario on that. I'm not gonna go into it in this session. Cardano green, Matic green. Green across the board. It's green across the board pretty much as well. So market's pushed up quite nicely. We're gonna have a lot of time to actually get back into the space. What I do think the next narrative is, which we've seen, we've seen the AI narrative actually push up, but I do think the next narrative is ZKP, zero knowledge proof. I mean, that's what I really do think. I've got into a bunch of zero knowledge proof coins as well. One of them, for example, is A0. A0, I actually called it, I openly said it on Twitter. I put my neck on the line as well. I'm not one of those ones who actually claim to actually, you know, buy coins after it's actually pumped up. I was saying it. I was buying coins for a long time ago. Literally this tweet here. Bought more A0, non-financial advice, but this is one of my 100x gems. I'll be looking at during the heat of the bull run as well. So I'm bag holding some of these coins, you know, on the way up. This is when I've started entering in. So, and from the time You can see it there. There's we go. A 0 USDT. Actually, on it. A 0 USDT. Mexi. And you can see where I bought the thing. I bought it right over here at 142, and you can see the breaking market structure, taking out these highs there. Does it come back and hold above it and then push up? We'll see how we look. We'll see how it goes, but we need to time this with total 2. But actually, let's go with A0 first. Let me talk about that. This is one of my this is one of my big bags as well, to be honest. As well, this is one bag I'm pretty proud of as well. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do think this is gonna be a massive play. I've originally bought in around back in the summer, around a little bit around 80 cents. No, from here. Before it was in February time, around 80 cents. Around hit yeah, around like the 80-cent mark, 90. Let's call it 90 cents itself. Bought a bunch at £1.12, rolled it all the way to $3. Cut the rest around 295, 290ish, whatever the number is. Left about 10% of my bag into it. I've just been holding that 10% bag, and I've added some somewhere around here. And I did some somewhere around here, and I did some somewhere around here. But yeah, and then that's what it is. And now I think we're pushing up. Great. Some of you guys might be thinking, but hang on a second, Daink. You are looking at fighting. You're looking at playing a range bound environment. Wouldn't you want to play it and take your profits at range high? But hang on a second. Total 2 will show me a completely different story. This is the range high. This is July's high. July's low. You can find the support at the mid range, deviation, lower deviation. This little holds. This just showed me there's enough bullishness. We had a retest over here. It gives me enough reason for me to buy. Coming into these highs there, monitoring this stuff. We start breaking down to cut the trade itself, and it's a spot back. Broke at these highs, clean retest, gets back above, finds support, rallies away, takes out these fucking highs. And what we're looking at these little levels over here. So we had a massive pump up. We're not gonna see pump up after pump up after pump up. You're gonna see some pullback, no problem. If I'm looking at a pullback, what am I looking at, right? So what are the possible scenarios? So literally, I'm looking at the area of interest will be around this particular area here. This is the area. So between $2.69, let's go $2.68 to the all-time high, approximately to $3.10, $3.09. These are going to be the areas of interest for me, which I'm going to actually dictate what's going to happen if we start breaking back down, to come back down lower, or do we actually blast off above higher? I don't know, but we'll have to work this out level to level as it is. By all means, take your profit where you feel like you need to take profits. I'm not here to tell you when you should be taking profits. That's your responsibility. I'm not your mom, all right? I'm not your mom. I'm not here to remind. Like, I'll remind you when you need to take profits, and I'll throughout the bull run throughout the year, next year, and whatnot. I will tell you here and there, but I'm not your fucking mom, right? I don't think it's my responsibility to always remind you that take profits, take profits. If you decide to hold it, that's entirely up to you, okay? So play it how you may. Anyway. So this key pivot area here, this is resistance, acted as resistance, then we had a clean break above it, and then we rally away from these highs away there. So do we have a deeper pullback into this area here, into here? So if it does, let it do its thing. Once we hold back down, reclaim and hold above it, then you can look to enter in, because that's all bullish market structure, because you can see we're breaking all these market structures over here, and we're showing bullishness all the way through there. Hold above it. What we're looking for, taking that into this particular area here. If you want to look for profit wise, I'd say that'll be the first area that you're looking at as resistance. Then I'll probably say somewhere around here, and then we're looking at these highs there. So something like that's target 1, that's target 2, that's target 1, that's target 2, and that'll be target 3. And then if we can actually take out these highs, that'll be your final targets there. What happens afterwards, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, if price decides to come back down and finds resistance, let it do its thing, right? Let it come back down. See how we come back for a retest there, because we're still capped. As long as we hold above the $1.15 level, I'm quite happy for bullish price action to enter in the plate level to level as we discussed just not too long ago. Okay, does that make sense? Cool, should do. Once we break out of it, we'll figure out what the next fucking sense is as well. I mean, if I were to actually plan this out right now, that's the high, that's the low. Where am I looking at? Let's just bring this up for the sake of the argument. 2 and 1.5. My next set of areas I've been looking for is literally if we break out of this, hold above it, and then I'm looking for $4.35, and then we hold above it, bullish market structure, keep going as well, and then we're looking for $5.61. We'll see how it goes. I do think A0 is a banger and a half. If you look at A0 itself in terms of market cap, let's have a look. It's only sitting about like what, 365 million market cap there. It's a Solana competitor. I missed that Solana. I was told to buy Solana at $1. I wish I actually went on for it, but I didn't actually buy Solana, to be honest, as well. Well, I did a little bit, and then I sold it mad early, mad early. When I say early, it's embarrassing to even tell you how early it was. That's how bad it was. Two different styles I'm playing it, which I was saying to you on the last stream, the last weekly outlook. I'm not playing this as a trader. I'm playing. There's the investing side, there's the trading side. There's two different sides I'm playing it as well. So you take it as you may. If you think like you know, like what's the reason for it to go up and whatever, but what's the reason for it to go down? Think about it this way: there's no market fucking symmetry. There's no market symmetry. It's difficult to ascertain what's going to go next because dollar's going up and ES is going up. How is that symmetry right there? Dollar should be going down if ES is going up, or dollar's going up and ES should be going down. We're not really having that clear indication across the board itself. So that's my take on it. Everyone has their own view on it. But anyway, so I'm in some really good profits on A0. It's not a big deal anyway. It's nothing to clap about and get excited about. Trading is trading, you know. Shit happens. What can you do? You move on. Anyway, next one. What do we have next? Let's touch base on BNB. BNB is an interesting one. So what I want to focus on is this little area here, okay? So we've got July's high, July's low, and July's mid-range, okay? That's what we're going to look at right now. Delete everything off, make it nice and clean, what we got here, all right? So do you see here, when we got back above July's high, we come back down, we find resistance, come back to the mid-range, find resistance, come back to the mid-range, resistance, mid-range, before we pushed up there, okay? And then when we did push up, we came back up, find support for one day, then shank back down, find resistance, come back down to mid-range, do a deviation. Then after that, whoops, see daisy, where the fuck are ya? Pop you over here, don't get out my sight, cool. And then what happened is, we came back up, ran these highs there, we come up to the July's high, there's a deviation, steps back down, plays back down. So every time we go above the July's high, we lose that level very quickly. We get back above, we lose that level very quickly. We get back above, lose that level quickly. This one is different now. We get back above and we grind above it. A lot of deviation and messy and choppiness as well. Then we push up and making higher highs. And then we come back down. Instead of finding resistance for a short setup, we are actually pushing back up. Now the question is it really a short setup? I mean, if I was to do a short setup, I mean, I'm quite happy to go in for a potential short actually right here. The potential short, but I don't want to phase the market. Oops, let me just bring that back up. I don't really want to phase the market, right? So if I bring this up there, what I'm looking at is literally this area here. You see this candle over here. This is where we're finding resistance. So let it do its thing, right? I don't need to actually start shorting or whatever. I can look at potentially taking a long if it does do a pullback and find support at this high itself, July's high. I can go back into this block over there, and once we break above the block, take the fucking longs. Where are we going? Take this. Well, I'm looking at potentially this area here. Can you see this area? That's the area that I'm looking at. Going into this low over here. That's target 1. And then I'm looking for the highs over there. And then I'm looking for this one. If we flip above it, let's go higher. That's all I'm looking for. If I'm looking for a short, how would I do so? The market is looking bullish in BTC. Total 2 looks like we're above the mid-range of July's mid-range. So you start, and like I'm not going to be shorting against the trend. You can't fight against the trend. What's going on, Madcap Bat? How you doing, Brule? How you doing, Touche? Good to have you here, my Irish brother and my Australian sister. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so fucking empty can. What the fuck am I doing? Water it is. Anyway, so if I was looking for a short, right? I mean, you can take a short here with a stop loss. Where's your invalidation over here? Would I really do that? Not really. I've taken a lot of trades yesterday, and it's been really profitable, to put it that way. So if I want confirmation, let the price do its thing. Once I find resistance, this has increased my probability to play it back to where? To the mid-range, looking at liquidity, taking out these areas there and seeing what happens. I mean, the first target I'll probably be looking at is this high here. That's the first target. Secondary targets will be, if we lose this level there, play it back down to the mid-range. That's what I'll be looking for. If we do find support of here, then play it back up to the range high. That's really as what I've got. I can't look for, I mean, look, if I want to take a short, I can. but this has to be my stop loss right here. This is my invalidation. I do not expect price to come back up. I mean, right now, total 2 is looking like a pullback. From what I'm looking, it's looking like a pullback on total 2 towards the mid-range. Well, really, we've got a range band environment to work on with where I'm looking at. Let's go back into it again. Bring this back up there. We're working on this range band environment right on the hourly, as you can see, to play potentially back down level to level into here and potentially into here, well, into these highs there, and then we'll see what happens next. Okay, so the shorts can set up, but it needs to set up really nicely. So that's BNB. Let's look at NIA quickly on another one, NIA USDT. Right, so NIA, I'm in, right? And I told the guys yesterday as well, right, that if we get any retests off here, take the longs, off we go. 25% range, mid-range, right? What we got here is a weekly range band environment. What is the weekly range band environment? This here is January's. Fuck, am I doing? Why is this here? Why is this here? Why have I got that here? Let me have a look at that. That doesn't make no sense. Sorry about that, guys. I need to actually have a look at what I've got there. I don't understand why I've got that there. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Let me delete that. So I told the guys yesterday in the group as well. We got a weekly range low, weekly range high. We are consolidating within this area here. We have had deviation, well, support, deviation, resistance, deviation, and we'll come back in, broke market structure. So any pullback into here will give us, and bullish market structure will give us an opportunity to take a leverage play into mid-range. And if you want to play spot plays and whatever, you can do so. Once you reclaim this highs over here, that should next target 75% range and then go to the range high. What happens next? If we break out, happy days, let's go up higher. But if we decide to break back down, take the shorts back down to the mid-range, back down to the range low, level to level as it is, right? Until proven otherwise, it's still consolidating within a range band environment. So I have entered into near somewhere around, I can't remember, somewhere around near the mid-range over here, range low itself. I made some profits there, not a big deal, it's all happy days there. So that's near. Does everyone understand that? And if we decide to lose the level itself, we've got another range band environment over here. This is the weekly range band environment. I mean, we can just start working this out level to level, something like this. Let it do its thing. If you want confirmation, once we lose this level there, I'm looking for this low to act as resistance right here. Can you see that? We've got a deviation, support, come back there. It's a deviation. So once we find resistance, breaks down over here. This is now my confirmation to play where? Back down. Taking it to this level here. Well, I want to front run it. I'll probably front run it into this high here, right there. Then looking to go into these areas there, level to level, and we work it down on the way down itself. Does everyone understand that? So at any moment, so that'd be target 1, this would be target 2, and this would be target 3. At any moment, if we find support, shows bullish market structure, cut the trade because we're going to go back up. Everyone understand that? Great. Now let's move on to the next one. So we had Julie Deflo asked about LTC. Now let me just touch base on LTC. Where the fuck are you? There you are. Now, I never understood why people were shorting this shit. I really don't understand it. Maybe I'm missing something wrong, but to me, it was a completely different story. Let me just break this out for you so you guys can see what I'm looking at, all right? It might be a bit too thin. Can everyone see the purple line? It is a little bit thin. I'll put it a bit thicker so everyone can see that, right? Really wasn't bothered to actually take shorts on LTC. There would short-term scenario is one thing, but in terms of taking shorts itself, looking for lower prices, I didn't quite understand it. Me personally, that's why I never took it. That's why I never even advised anything about it. I was like, yeah, if it does set up, it's set up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But look at this, right? What I've got here. Let me delete all these lines. We don't need all this for now, right? Because if it does come back lower, we can always work this out as we talk about it from the time being. So what I've got here, this is 2019's low, and this is 2019's high. All right, let me just move this away. All right, I don't really give a damn about this. Forget that. That's not of our concern. What we're looking at was at the range band environment that we've got at hand right now. And what we have is 2019's low, 2019's high. And that's the mid-range. Everyone understand that? It's really nice and simple. Nothing too complicated to follow, okay? What's going on, Sergey? Good morning to you, my brother. So, we play from the low, back to the mid, from the mid, back to high. Then we play from high, back to mid, mid, back to low. Then we went to low, back to mid, mid, back to high. Everyone understand that? Then we did the whole deviation or whatever. That's not really our concern. But then we went from the high, back to mid, mid. But we didn't even come back down to low. We came and found some sort of support of some bullshit like avenue. Where the hell did he find support? Well, you can use this as an area of support. You can use this as an area of support. What I would have done is, well, hang on a second, it just come back to the last down candle, send the market back up. And can you see how we never had a body close below? Because if we did, and it starts breaking down, bearish market structure, take the shorts over here, play it back down to 2019 low. Never did that. Instead, what it was doing, it was finding support and bouncing off here under accumulation. This was all in accumulation range. We did a stop run, right? Taking out the lows over here, and then we pushed up. Let me just highlight that properly so you guys can follow it in a different color. So let's say we got this high of it. Oops, bloody hell. Got this high that's capping the market there. As you can see, resistance, resistance, come back down, support, pushes up there, comes back down as well. One more retest as well. This low holds, off it goes, rallies, finds support, pushes into the mid range. And what do we look for? From the mid range, we're looking for 75% of range and range high. We got LTC halving coming up. I never heard this, what the fuck that was. I honestly never heard what the fuck was LTC halving was. But turns out there is a real thing. LTC is having a halving. How this is happening, I don't know. I really don't know. But he's actually having a halving. It's like Bitcoin. So when you're looking at thingy LTC, so I was looking at LTC, right? And at the time, I noticed a lot of people was actually taking shorts. And I was like, all right, cool, but maybe I'm missing something. I'm not like I'm bullish, you know, on Total 2. I was bullish on Total 2, and it makes sense to come back. I mean, like, you know, obviously you can see right here. Let me just run the PA, just price action as it is. What we had, you see this high here, this high holds, right? So really and truly, if I use a block, okay, I know where it is. If I look at it this way, the block was right here, right about there. Okay, is that right? Yeah, it is that one. So this was where the pivotal block was, and as you can see, it's like grinding back down, pushes up there, run the block itself, but this high holds, this high invalidation comes in, comes down, resistance, breaking market structure, lower highs and stuff like that, starts breaking down, comes back down. I mean, if I was to short it, like if I was to short it from here or wherever it is over here with a stop loss there, my target would be looking for, it has to be short term because we've got the mid range here. That 2019 mid range is a pivotal factor right there, because if we flip below it, and break down, then cool, take the shorts. And this was all just a deviation. So what I was looking at, well, let me just bring this up actually. Let me drag this all across right there. Right, because you can see we have, now anyway, just talk about this here. What I'm looking for, if I was looking for targets, target 1 would be here, target 2 would be this low here, and then I'll be looking for a pivot off here, how we'll react off that. You see this high over here, that's a pivot. You've got this high here act as resistance, 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 deviation, resistance, deviation. We shoot back up, find support, we have a deviation, and we're pushing back up. So this is a key SR. Can you see that? That's a key SR, which means that if we were to flip below it and find resistance and break down, take the fucking short, off we go. So, but as long this holds, I mean, the invalidation will have to be here, but really and truly, well, I mean, you can tighten it up. Yeah, I'll probably put it here. But as long as we hold, like you can see, we find resistance a little bit, then we get back up and find support, and that really holds the support, because this was all resistance underneath. Now it's become support. We find support over here, we find support there, bit of a deviation, find support, break market structure, bullish as fuck, take out these highs there, bullish into the area, into the order block there, and we break above it and we have a deviation, we come back into the range. Now looking for plays on whatchamacallit, the freaking range bound environment. So let me just do a Fibonacci right here. Is it coincidental, right, between the 75% of the range of July's mid range, 2019 mid range to the 2019 75% of the range? Is it coincidental that this is the mid range and we're getting capped? Look at it right now. I did not make this up. This is what the market has told you. Resistance, resistance, deviation. Okay. Now, if I want to increase my probability for longs, what I need to see is looking to break above these highs over here. Right? Whatever it does, break above these highs, hold above it. I can take a long going where? Up into the 75% of range, and that's where I'll be looking for the target there. Just looking at from a range bound environment, from this is the high and this is the low, and that's the mid range. That's what I'm looking at. After that, we'll talk about that in higher time prices and whatnot. So I believe LDC was created from a copy of a BTC. I don't know. I really don't know. Paul, I can't really say anything or make a comment on that, to be honest, in all honesty. But excuse me, that's the bullish plan. Now, if it was to be, that's a deviation and start breaking down, but then how do we play this? Well, let it do its thing, right? I'm looking for this particular low here to be broken down. Once we lose this low over here, so let it do its thing, break down below here, that gives me additional confirmation to take the shorts. That's the invalidation to play down where? Playing down level to level. So I would say into this area here, that'll be target 1, and then target 2, and then looking into probably these liquidity here and into the mid range, and that's it. That's the shorts I will do. But I'm bullish on BTC on Total 2. So what I want to see is let it do its thing, right? Let it do its thing. If we come back down like this and does that, this low you need to lose this. If you lose this low, then you start looking for shorts. Once we hold above it, shows bullish price action there. I'm happy to enter in aggressively, right? And then to me, like, we held below here, and then we play it back up. Once we break above and hold above these highs there, take the fucking longs, off you go. Does that make sense? Because once we get back below the mid range, then we'll talk about the shorts. Then all this was just a deviation. I don't know yet. We'll have to see what happens. Honestly, we'll have to see what happens as well. So I do know for a fact that the dollar index is pushing up and the ES is pushing down. So the setups are all there, just working out both sides of the market and just letting it just show its hand on what it wants to do. Really, that's the truth. There's no need for me to take a trade. I had about 8 trades. I did 8 trades in a row yesterday. Some of them a lot of them was holding at the same time. I'm tired. I'm tired physically. Sorry, not physically. Mentally, I'm actually drained today to take a trade. So I'm just gonna take things easy as it is, and then tomorrow's a new day anyway. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. What else should we cover? Let's have a look. Link is another one. Link, right? So we can see that market structure right here lost it, and then really and truly, it's like you can see that was a low here, that was a support, and that was a support, that was a support. Get deviation, find resistance, grinds there, run these highs, sells off into this area here. Okay, and then we rally back in. I was still in the spot. I didn't even cut the trade, and then we reclaimed and hold above it there. If it's gonna be bullish, right? I want to see this hold, right? Let it do its thing. Bullish market structure. Play it back up. Well, I mean, if I want confirmation, really and truly, I have to see. Let it do this. Reclaim it, hold above it. Then I can say, yep, take the longs into the 75% range, into this area there. Once we can hold above it, bullish market structure, run these highs over there, and then run these highs over there into July's high. And that'll be a nice and easy trade from there. I mean, I played it from the low back into looking to the highs itself. That's what I'm looking for. If I was looking for a short on Link, how would I do so? Short term wise, I mean, you can just use this actually. Yeah, you can do something like that. Short term wise, let it do its thing. Let's do this. Breaks down below here. Take the short, play it into the mid range, and then from the mid range, we're going to see what happens if we hold above it. Bullish market structure. Let it do its deviation or whatever. If it does something like that and hold above it, take the longs, cut the shorts, and off we go. Play back up, level to level, as we talked about. But if we get back below the mid range, all we're looking for is bearish market structure. Take the shorts, looking for target 1, target 2, and then looking to get this liquidity over here back into the 75% range, and then run it down to the range low. But to me right now, it's short term. It's nothing that's long term that I can say, yeah, take a short, we're gonna swing this down, back down. It doesn't tell me that there's a swing short right now. I do think there's a bit of a potential move to the upside potentially as well, but I'm gonna have to monitor what happens next. Blur. Hit like Blur. What's up? Blur, you know what? I didn't even enter into Blur. I know a bunch of the guys in the... I can't really chart this shit. I mean, I can. I mean, nothing is impossible to chart, but fuck, you know. I mean, if I were to look at this as a charting perspective, how do I look at this there? So we've got this high there and this low there. Right, cool. Let's do a Fibonacci right now. That's the high and that's the low. Great. So I've got my levels there and I can see what's going on here. Looking at targets at 160 and $2.02. That's what we're looking for, potential on a breakout play. So if we break out, for example, if we do something like this, do a breakout to the upside, hold above it, we're looking to go to 160, and then from 160, looking to potentially go to $2.02, and we'll see what happens there. So does it look like a short? It does starting to look like a short, really, if you ask me. Because why? We've got this low here is getting lost. We lost that low here. So if it does retest this area there, breaks down, I'm happy to take a short back in the 25% range, looking to go into the liquidity, well, into this potential high there. That's what I'll be looking for, potentially, you know, like taking profits as you go along into these areas. So like, for example, this will be what area that you look at taking a profit there, coming into here, and let's see if we come to the mid-range. If we hold the mid-range, bullish market structure, take the longs itself. So you can see it's actually starting to fall. I can't really take a trade on that one on Blur, but the bullish price action is showing me something like that. I'll take it up there. If we come to the mid-range over here and we actually find support, over here, hold the market structure there, then I'll be looking to take the longs over there. Okay, it was $5 dropped to 50 cents. It did, yeah, it did. You have to remember it's airdrop, so these airdrop coins, they actually, you know, they get dumped quite quickly. You know, like, would you hold airdrops? Like, for example, Uniswap. I got Uni tokens back in 2020. I think it's 2020 actually, I believe. And as soon as I got it, I know I was $1,500 up, so I dumped it on the spot. Because I was quite happy to take the profits there. I didn't really mind what were to happen next. But same thing, we'll see what happens. I mean, you can see it is looking like it's broken. You know, it's coming back down. It does look like it's gonna come back down into potentially this area here. That's what I'm looking for. If we were to hold above it, do something like this, bullish market structure, looking to take the longs back to 75 and then back to range high, and then we'll see what happens if we do a breakout on the upside. Happy days. If not, play it back down, level to level. Well, there you go. It's tanking. It's literally just tanking, so there's nothing I can do on this. BTC is looking like it's breaking down at the moment as well. So we had the plans for BTC on the shorts itself. Literally just did a retest on that July's high there, which we discussed there. I got a stop loss here, so we'll start looking at monitoring this as we go on the next couple of minutes itself. So I'm quite happy for a pullback across the board. Still touching base on total 2. What's happening there? You can see that we did a retest right here not too long ago. This is 135, which is about a couple of minutes ago. Yeah. What time is it now? It is 135 right now. There's 2 foot thingy 35. So coming back down, I'm happy for it to the mid range, back to the range low. Looking for the shorts itself. What else should we cover? Solana. Let me touch on base on Solana and see what's going on. Now Solana, right, is broken out of this. If you guys remember, I did a tweet not too long ago, right? Now it's broken out of this trend line over here, and all is coming back. It's looking like it's coming back into potentially this high or this high there. Does it come back into the trend line and hold this trend line over here from this area there, and then this still holds intact for the lower high, so the higher low? If it does that, happy days. Take the longs, off you go, run it all the way back up, take out the liquidity of this high over here, take out the liquidity, run into these areas there, looking at, you know, taking profits as you go up. And if we hold above it, off we go, let's run up higher. That's pretty much in Solana that I've got there. That's that's it. What else have we got? Any more that you guys want me to in the cover? What's going on, Mr. M? How you doing? Dogecoin, let's drop it. Dogecoin, let's have a look. Dogecoin, right, it's one of those ones that I haven't bought yet. So we got a weekly range high. Alright, so we lost that trend line over there. And all we did, we came back up, and we're now pushing back down below here. So if it was to break down, I need to work this as a level to level base. I think we have a deeper pullback potentially into these areas here. This area here, 74 cents, so 7.4 cents there. So let it do its thing. Once we get back down, lose this low there. I'm happy to take the shorts. Looking to go into these areas of target. Well, this area is a target 1. Lose this area there. Target 2 would be here. Target 3 will be having to go back down over there, and then we'll see what happens there. If we lose this, play it back down. If we hold above it, cut the shorts, play the longs, back up, level to level as it is. But this high here is getting capped at the moment there. We are finding deviations over there. What's capping the market is really this high over here is capping the market itself. So until we can break out of this high, hold above it, then we can play back up into these highs itself and seeing what's going on for the next run itself. But I mean, if you were to look at it this way, market structure looks all right. I mean, it's not too... it doesn't look great, to be honest, if you ask me. It doesn't look fucking great. Looks like a deeper pullback on that one. In all honesty, that's what it looks like as well. What else do we get into? So Kata is actually doing quite well as well, in my opinion. Kata I got a buy on that. So really and truly, we're looking at this particular range band environment. Mid range comes into around here. So I want to see this level hold. If it holds, happy days. They do its thing. Bullish market structure. Take the longs over here, and off we go back into the range high. And if we do break out over here and does something like this, and then we can go a lot more higher prices there. But if we don't, and we decide to come back to the mid range, I'm gonna watch this as it is. Come back to the range low. I want to see the mid range low hold. Whatever the deviation is, hold it back above it. Play back level to level itself. So these are the things I'm looking for. Let's have a look. Rose. What time is it now? I'm gonna do 2 more, and I'm gonna head off. Okay. Rose USDT. So Rose in itself, right, has been quite bullish, right? I do need to do the whole. You know what the problem is? I might have to just do one then, because I'm gonna have to do a top-down analysis now. That's the thing is. All right then. I'm just gonna do Rose. I'm gonna call it a session there. Let me make a quick sig. But as you can see, it is pretty spectacular. We've got this consolidation. Whoops, right over here. So price is literally getting stuck right over. Yeah, you can use this one. Yeah, I'll use that. You can see that how consolidation over here, deviation, finding resistance over here. If it breaks above and hold above, you know, the Bob's your motherfucking uncle can come into these areas there. I think Rose would be good. Rose and INJ are really interesting ones as well. I see that a lot on Twitter lately. Shout out to freaking Wiz, man. Wiz actually, you know, shout out to him. He's fucking smashed it out actually. Sevo smashed it out. There's a small number actually. Funnily enough, there's not a big number of players who actually been long in it. Who actually been talking about longs. I know from the top of my head, we got Sevo, we got Wiz, we got Satoshi Flipper, we've got Capo. No, not Capo with a C, Capo with a K. Those are the guys who actually been calling the longs, and then, you know, funnily enough, everyone else is calling shorts. So credit is where credit is due. You have to respect what, you know, what they brought out, and then they put their math on the line, and they put their name on the line. I mean, and you can't hate on someone who's actually looking at shorts. They got valid shorts to look at. So, you know, it is what it is. That's the thing is with trading. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. You know, if you lose it, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna cry about it. I mean, the fact that some people are going out and attacking someone like Trader SC, you fucking lost the fucking plot, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what? It's 143. Let me have, yeah, okay, I've got an idea. I think I want to smoke half of this. That's better. Cool. So with Rose, let's have a look. What do we have here? So we have a range band environment. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I would stick with this, with June. I would stick with June. So with June's high, June's low. Right, let me delete that. Flip that around. So that's that, and that's that. Right, so cool. And you can see where the it's getting capped at the 1.5, nearly at the 2 as well. So pretty much bang on actually. The low is 4168. Alright, and then let me delete all this actually. Style. Cool. Change the color into purple so everyone can see what I'm looking at. Alright, cool. So let's have a look at Rose. This is, let's do it on the 4 hours. As you can see quite clearly, right? Everyone can follow this, right? We have a deviation on the upside and we have some deviation on the downside. Where are they? That's the deviation and that's the deviation. We're coming to range high itself. This is a very key point. Do I start looking for shorts or do I start looking for longs? I don't know yet. But what's capping the market at the time being, I'd say it's this high here. That's that low. That low itself is finding resistance. So if we were to flip and hold above it, show me bullish market structure. I'm quite happy to take the longs to run up into this area. Well, to this area here. Right, and then trying to flip this high over here. If we flip that high up, and then Bob's your uncle will go up higher. So we need to work out what's going to happen. Do I look at taking a short now? Not necessarily. Market structure is still bullish as we can see. I mean, if you look at it this way, we've got the low over here, got the higher high, higher low, 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 higher high. So evidently, this low has got to hold. As long as this low holds, it's perfectly fine. But it doesn't mean I can't take a short-term trade. So the short-term trade will be this, right? Let it do its thing, right? Let me just narrow this down onto the 1, actually, just for the sake of doing it, all right? So you guys already know what the bullish plan is, right? Also, looking like the shit in the bed a little bit, but not a big deal. So if it was to come back down, lose this low there, that confirmed we got a bearish market structure there. Whatever retest there, I can actually start entering in, well, whatever the deviation will be. For example, if there's a deviation to here, I like to come into here, breaks down, have an invalidation here to play it back down to target 1 over there. A confirmation is once we lose this level there, that's your confirmation to play it back into these areas here. Target 1, target 2, and then we'll see what happens next. Because if you look at it this way, you got a bit of a, let's see, no, not this one. No, not this one. I'll probably use this one. You can see this as well. So we've got a bit of a trend line there. So we can come into here and hold support and reclaim this level there. So well, let's talk about the thing, the short play, and then once we lose this level there, we start looking for the mid range itself. But speaking about the trend line itself, if I were to bring everything into the picture itself, what if we do something like this? Because this, you can increase your probability by doing that. Let it do its thing, right? Holds above it, shows bullish market structure, reclaims, take the longs, off you go. But if we end up losing this level there, come back down there, breaks down over here, now you know this is your increased confirmation. Because once we've broken out this range over here, this is an SR point of view that we're looking at. This could be a range band environment. We lose the trend line there. That means, and we're showing lower lows, lower high, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Then what we're doing is playing it back down to 25% range, and then we're looking for potentially running it back down into this potentially high over here. This high over there, and that'll be a target for rows, and then we'll see what happens. So, and then if you squeeze into the mid range, take your profits, and we monitor it from there. So that's really what I've got my eyes on in terms of rows. There's nothing much more to it. It's like is it as support? Is it going to be final resistance? Let the market show you what's going to happen. Mark out your key levels, and once you've got your key levels, you're going to be fine. Just follow the plan as you see fit, and just do what you got to do. Take the shorts if you got to take the shorts. Take the trades when you got to take the trades. Don't get married to your bags. I mean, just because I've got into some, I'm holding alts as well, doesn't mean you guys are entirely free to do whatever you want to do. So, excuse me, sorry. Yeah, you guys are free to do whatever you want to do, but hopefully that should give you enough leeway and plans to go into the new week itself, right? So that's it for me, guys. I'll catch you guys soon, and see you next week.